Hello again, everybody. Welcome. We are live again, this time from Italy, Torino Airport. The north of Italy, just near to the Alps, actually, which is what we can see here. We've got payware scenery, which I purchased yesterday. It's actually quite expensive. It's 20 quid, or £19 based on your exchange right here for Torino Airport. Is the only payware scenery available for this particular airport. There aren't any other options. 20 quid wise though, I don't think it's probably worth that amount. It's it seems fairly average from what I can see so far. Ian, hello. Badger, welcome. Zato, Fritz, g'day. David, good afternoon. Yeah, some of these textures are a little bit to be desired, aren't they? But nevertheless, it's a payware scenery for our flight today. We are in the Fenix A320 today, folks. It's been a few days since we were last on board the jet. We are off to Liverpool. United by music, as Doc says. Thanks to avsim for painting a very special Osprey Airways livery for the Fenix A320, namely involving this year's host city of Liverpool on behalf of the Ukraine for the Eurovision Song Contest 2023. And here it is, the new paint scheme. It looks pretty cool. Very cool, in fact, to be honest. I'm not a massive fan of Eurovision, you guys know that, but the livery is pretty slick, isn't it? So yeah, looking very, very cool indeed. David's picked up the SWS Vans RV10 at the weekend. Really flies nice, or flies really nicely, having done some circuits. That's good to know. They make some great aircraft, from what I hear. They're the same folks behind the Kodiak, right? If I've got that right. We're off to Asobo's Liverpool as well, the one that's handcrafted, which is quite nice. Certainly all you need for that sort of size airport. Kalito, Chris, hello. AR as well. Doc, welcome. Birdman. Dive in. So, we are heavy today, 60 tonnes for departure, gross weight of 67.8 with fuel and everything involved as well. So certainly one of the heavier flights in the A320 that we've done, but I've done that intentionally because I want to see how this flies when it's heavy. 2.5 hours for flight time, 0 fuel weight. Just making a note of all of this for the performance calculations in a moment. 59.963. We actually ran that to 60 tons, which is a max 0 fuel weight, center of gravity of 30.6%. Gross weight 67.9 tons, and Mac GW 28.6. 132 on board, 5.4 tons of cargo loaded, and fuel 8 tons as well. Because of the weight, we are cruising at a lower altitude than expected today. 34,000 feet for our cruise. There's boarding complete from GSX. We could probably have a little look at the performance here as well. Fritz, you should see his roll already then, because it's already there. We're going to take off runway 36, surface is dry, sink the low sheets, and winds variable 3 knots, 6 degrees Celsius, QNH now 1031, so that's just changed. And it's asking us about intersection departures. What's the runway length here? 3,300. So, let's have a look. Foxtrot or Lima? Calculate as if we're not going to use full length. That works. We use Foxtrot. At 151 for 151, 153. Flaps 1 down 0.0. Flex of 64. And then engine out 1940, 1940, 1940. But actually, you remind me, well, that little section there reminds me, because Doc's actually provided us with a slightly different departure data, I think, from memory, unless that's for a different route. Nope, yeah, 1925, 1925, 1925. Jolly good. So it's a slight difference. 1940 there. Play Yaya Ding Dong. Oh dear. Oh, good afternoon, Ian as well. Hello. Mark, welcome. Mark, yes. Yeah, so let's tackle that now then. For those of you flying along, so it's weird here, as Deepod Dolphin said. SIDS and transitions and other things. It's all a little bit weird. So what you want to do for your departure is select runway 36, like so. Then you want to select the Searle 5 Alpha departure with a Kook 9 Mike departure transition, if that makes sense. And that will then give you the weird and wonderful departure routing for today. Yeah. Avsim's favourite tune, 151. It's like we plan these things. 151. Rotate the same. 153 V2 plus. V2 plus 10 would be 163. Takeoff shift. It's 300, I think, wasn't it? Let's have a little quick check. Oh, 0. All right. Actually. Yeah, no, there's no takeoff shift, which is weird. Doorman, hello, because it's not the furthest point of the runway, so we're actually starting slightly short. But hey, we'll trust the data for now. Why not? Flaps 1 / down 0. Let's hope that goes in, because that's logical. Yeah, happy days. 64%, 64 degrees. Sorry. Thrust reduction 1925. 1925, 1925. Cost index of 26. Mikhail, hello, welcome. Ooh, full hard drive. Cornelius, welcome, and MG King, welcome, welcome. David A, good morning. Loads of channel members. Mark, hello, welcome as well. Great to have you guys all tune in today, as always. Zero fuel weight, 60 / 30.6. Doorman, so I'm still using live weather at the moment. Let me just type in the latest METAR though. LIMF. So winds variable at 3 knots, all the 9s, broken at 4,500, 6 degrees, -1 for the dew point, QNH 1031. Let's change that before I forget. Certainly looks like the QNH is fine there. Although now we've gone to 1,020. We'll keep an eye on it. Block 7.9. Okie dokie. Does it say 306? Oh, it does. I'm glad you're paying attention. 30.6. Great shout. That would have been interesting, wouldn't it? So that could stay there. In lieu of the issues with the Fenix being annoying as heck with the reverse, I've got a new toggle set today, or a new keybind selection that won't interfere with other aircraft, thankfully. It's annoying I have to do this, but I've now got toggle reverse thrust, which activates it into idle, and then I can extend the normal thrust up to allow for normal reverse, if that makes sense. There's about 3 different clicks I have to make in order to actually get it to work, but hey ho. While we wait for the APU to fire up, let's have a look at Navigraph to brief ourselves on the departure for today. So we're at stand 108 here at Torino Caselle. Going to push start facing south, and we're going to taxi down Lima to Foxtrot for a departure runway 36. Nice long runway, airport elevation of 989. So already high up. After takeoff then, initially heading northbound to 2DME from CSL VOR, Cell 11675. At 2 miles, max 200 knots in turn due to ATC reasons. Turning right on ourselves to head westbound, southeasterly, Surlo 5 Alpha to Surlo, where we need to be at or above 4,000 feet. From there, as we discussed, the weirdness of sort of 2 SIDs in one, if that makes sense, or there's a SID transition with a SID. We then, at the bottom of the charts, look at the Kukev 9 Mike transition from the Surlo 5 Alpha departure, which continues from Surlo, max 240, with a climbing right turn, max 240 knots still, 6,000 feet, climbing away over the airfield, passing over the Caselle VOR, heading up to Mike Foxtrot 409, where we're then flying towards all the terrain actually, with some very high peaks, including that one there at 13,630 feet. So we need to be at or above flight level 150 there, and then we've got an option of Mike Foxtrot 411 at or above flight level 180 or flight level 190, dependent on the Geneva QNH. So this is going to be high to low, down you go, those sort of rules. So METAR LSGG is high pressure QNH 1032, so we could probably get away with at or above flight level 180 today, because high to low is opposite to what we've got today. So it's not like the QNH is 1005 hectopascals, it's 1032. So we're not actually flying lower than we believe, if that makes sense. So we'll select flight level 180, and then we're off to Kukev. That's it. We'll then be on our way with a transition altitude of 6,000 feet to Liverpool. APU's available. Let's pop the bleed on. My favourite animation in the Fenix. And we can have a look at our final load sheets. What did I want to check? Interestingly, there's a speed limit point there, but it can't really respect that. Where is it? Transition. Yeah, 6,000. That's what I wanted to check. That's already in there. Mike Foxtrot 408 is max 240 knots. There we go. Happy days. It reckons we're going to be at flight level 157 already by then. So climbing away from the terrain really quickly. That's already set to 2,000. They're all set. We're at trim set 0 at the moment. Part brakes on. 1228 for Unicom. Lights are all set as required. GCS auto. Predicted wind shear is automatic. I've set we'll set 180 for now as an option, just as a reminder. Andrea, welcome. How is the LIMF scenery? Is it a payware add-on? It is a payware add-on, yes. Rightio. For 20 quid, I think it's probably quite expensive, to be honest, for what you get. let's get GSX fired up for our departure. Rab, hello, Aaron as well. Flight Apparat are looking at releasing Amsterdam for MSFS, absolutely. Just not sure how long it's going to take, to be honest. I thought he was in his own sim clicking on the landing lights. It's a cool livery, isn't it? Thank you to avsim for painting it.
Departure check completed. I has been inserted.
On the FMS, will you explain left to right what the numbers are, please? CT90 is asking. I assume you mean this bit, right? So that's just the waypoints. These are RNAV waypoints in the SID. Further into the route, though, we've got our normal waypoints. Kukev, Bolus, Unker, that sort of thing. Speed limits, that's this section. Whether we have got speed constraints in relation to maximum speeds, like we saw on the charts a moment ago, it said max 240 knots. So we have to check that's in place at Surlo. Max 240 knots it is. If there was an altitude constraint of at or above 4,000, it would probably say that there, but it doesn't today, so it's all fine. Nose left. Oh yes. I thought it kind of integrated into itself, but it seemingly does it less than I remember it doing.
Release backing brakes.
Turin traffic, Osprey 165, stand 108, push start facing south.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Started wheel.
It's a standout livery, Dwal. You can't mistake it for anything else. And we're flying to Liverpool, home of the Yellow Submarine, don't forget. It all works. We keep telling ourselves anyway.
Fuel traffic, Osprey 2306 at stand 505, pushing back into Mike, facing north.
Miguel, welcome. Still waiting for his socks. They're still out of stock on the merchandise store, weirdly enough. No GSX profile for this airport, sadly, so it's all using its own bits, its own sort of logic to kind of decide where the taxiway lines are and stuff. I have no idea how well it's going to work. Yeah, new tail, slight tweaks. Timbrief is giving me Cook 9 Mike departure rab there. That's fine. As we went through a moment ago, you need to select. There's actually a SID in a SID, if that makes sense. So I'll do it again. We have mentioned it already. So you need to select runway 36, Searle 5 Alpha departure, and then it asks for you to choose a transition. You want the Cook 9 Mike transition. It's like a SID in a SID. If that makes sense. Hopefully it does. It's a bit weird. I keep thinking there's more to do in this, having flown the 737 yesterday. That's what our kidney-shaped departure looks like.
Set backing brakes. Waiting for your confirmation for route engine start. Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. To disconnect.
Loads of little tweaks to this livery that avsim's put in place. Obviously centred around UK, so we've got the UK flag at the front, operated by British Avgeeks. It's an Osprey Airways service. And then we're using the actual artwork for it, which is cool.
November, Lima, on to holding point Golf 1.
Unlocking gear.
Flaps 1 plus F for departure. Depot Dolphin, that means they've not selected it correctly, basically. But yeah, you're right, it should be realistic ground handling. So for those of you who have used my Bristol Airport profile for GSX that I put on flightsim.to a while ago for the Pilot Plus scenery, I've selected, pre-selected rather I should say, pre-designated certain handlers for sections of the airport as it would be true to life. Not all of the folks that create the custom profiles do that. It's weird. Live weather is definitely balked at the moment. Yeah, that's really weird. We've got the ground flag. Not all profiles are created equal. Let's switch to clear skies, which is actually almost what it's just done, but without the QNH. And then let's fire at Rex. Let's get Rex Weather Force Pro, as Mikhail's just suggested as well there. Ian, yeah, mine was fine, but then all of the clouds just vanished. Which is weird. So just bear with me, I'm just going to sort out Rex. Did we enable aerosols? I can't remember. I think we turned it off. Okay, let's see what happens. World map, that, clear skies, fly, start synthesis. It might need a minute or two to kind of kick in here. Brian, hello, welcome. There we go, and the QNH has changed. My goodness. Why is it 1031 though? It should be 1031. It's showing that though on the QNH. Alright, that's fine anyway, we'll trust it. Already looks much better, doesn't it? Right, to where are we going? Turin traffic, Osprey 165, taxi to hold point, Foxtrot, runway 36 via Lima and Foxtrot. So, we've checked all our data, the speeds are all good, takeoff config, flaps are in position 1 plus F and green, so let's run that. Takeoff config's normal. We could probably, at this point, close QATL for Microsoft Flight Simulator, so get rid of GSX. It's just trying to sort out, look, there we go, now it's feeding in the pressure altitude on Rex. So it should be around 980 when this stabilises. There we go. Perfect.
Departing traffic. Turin traffic.
Weird, because when it read 0, it's almost as if the QFE was 1031, because that would be height above ground level, which we would be 0 because we're at ground at the moment. Yeah, just needed that extra minute or two to kind of work itself out there by the looks of it, which is great. As long as it works, we have some sort of live weather. We're all happy. Beacon lights. Okay. Tablet. Flight mode.
Turin traffic, Osprey 775, pushing back and start from stand 104. Turin traffic.
Rudders seem very sensitive again today. Doing some quick control checks on the elevators and the ailerons. To be past taxiway Echo, hold point Echo. If we get towards Foxtrot, I'll probably just give the elevators and things a bit of a, or the rudder pedals a bit of a wiggle. Not long to go now, just over 24 hours until the sometime after 1800 Zulu on the 7th of Feb release begins for the 737-900 from the folks at PMDG. Very exciting indeed. Gonna come to a stop here a second just to sort out the brakes and to check the rudders. Who the chuffing heck was that? I don't know who that is. Are we having a baby? I'm not sure. That means they're taxiing far too close. Zato. It was you. During traffic, Osprey 165 by Foxtrot, lining up runway 36, taking off Sol 5 Alpha, Kukev 9 Mike, transition, Torino traffic.
Sure, traffic, Osprey 2306, lining up runway 36.
Straight to the mountains.
Departing company 320.
And to try and keep it efficient, what we'll do is we'll keep the engines, get them to, oops, my goodness, the rudder's all over the place today. We'll get the throttle up to 40% first, keep it rolling. It's a more sensible way to manage the energy of the aeroplane. Actually helps reduce the takeoff run ever so slightly. Flex and SRS runway, they're all active on the EFD through 80 knots. Relieve that nose wheel pressure. You know what I did forget? Control visualizer, there you go. Primary flight display is really, really choppy. Told you we were heavy. V1, rotate. Use the whole runway. Positive rate, go up. Autopilot 1 engage. Flight Sim, hello. Mark, if we're all flying a similar route, then usually it's 2 minutes, is the bit of a rule. 1 click, thrust lever climb. Start to retract those flaps and disarm the spoilers. During traffic, Osprey 165 is outbound 2,700 feet, climbing.
During traffic, Otaro 2472, traffic waiting behind. Do you want to go round? I'm having issues starting my engines.
Sure, traffic, Osprey 2306, departing runway 36. Straight out via the Seraph 5 Alpha departure.
Turin traffic, Osprey 5 Papa Lima, taxiing around the ITO, holding behind runway 36.
There are some bright yellow wings right there. Mark, awesome. Very exciting.
Osprey 04 Foxtrot, always still 5 Papa Lima, taxiing on Pushback. Unless
It's cool bus 320. It's not far off, is it?
During traffic, Osprey 775, taxi and fire Mike and Lima to Golf hold for runway 36.
And into the clouds.
During traffic.
We have a better safety record than Spirit, though I imagine, Doorman. we go. I think avsim did some bits underneath as well when he painted it. Oh, look at that. The unofficial. Let's just have a quick check to see what we're doing here. Yeah, outbound, through transition already. And we'll keep her climbing. Oops, 340 for cruise.
Good traffic, Osprey 2306 is outbound at 3,300 for
We'll change that standby instrument as well. 1013 for standard pressure. Over the mountains, we'll expect some turbulence. So we're through 10,000 feet now.
Someone was having trouble with starting their engines. Are they still? Because I think I'm behind you.
Yeah, mate, go around me.
Thank you.
Ian, check your bleeds. What's going on with Ian's aeroplane? Do we know? Oh, if you were on the ground looking up, you would see this livery from miles away, wouldn't you? That's the beauty of it. Tell you what, there's no mistaking it, that's for sure. Adam says, not going to lie, being from Liverpool, I'm super proud to be hosting on behalf of Ukraine. It's one heck of an honour, isn't it? It's pretty cool for you guys. William, welcome. Have a good one, Mikhail. Chris was asking, in the Airbus A310 weight and balance screen, there's an external fuel. Does anyone know what that's about? I'd have to see a photograph of it or a screenshot of it to kind of work out what that could be. Not entirely sure though. Don, welcome. Just heading out to Studland near Bournemouth for some drone flying. Very nice. Do you have your high visibility jacket?
Qatar 2472, now the engine started, but we'll wait for the EasyJet to pass in front before taking to holding point Foxtrot.
We got here for custom views, that one. Aaron, yes, that's correct.
I don't see an EasyJet unless that's me, but I should be in an Osprey livery.
As you're saying, because you became second last year, Eurovision 2022, Ukraine naturally are unable to host it due to the invasion country at the moment. So we're hosting on their behalf in Liverpool.
Yeah, I just got GSX.
So it's in a way, the yellow is actually kind of reminiscent of the Ukrainian flag, if you think about it that way as well.
That's very strange.
Have you definitely got BBX in the V-pilot?
Oh, I believe so. I'll check. Hang on.
Flight Sim saying a little tip problem: double-headed cursor in the flight deck causes GSX running invisibly in the background. Solution for that, for anyone having that problem, is to open GSX window, resize, and place it in the top corner. Ooh. I'm not quite sure what problem that relates to, but it'll be interesting to kind of find out.
Well, I filed the flight as a BVX.
We should be.
I don't know what's going on.
Should be overflying the airport again soon,
This
but
is what happens when we don't fly the Boeing.
exactly. Boeing's better. At least in flight
Followed
sim.
it, but I can't get it from the server, so you go ahead.
Itaero 2472, taxi to holding point Foxtrot, runway 36, Turin traffic.
The Alps are up. Grab says stunning departure. It's very nice, isn't it? Nice. Well, it's quite steep takeoff as well, though.
300, it's like a Boeing
Very steep
that's
takeoff.
made by the
I wonder if we can see people below us who are on the outbound leg as well, because they're kind of routing under this somewhere.
Turin traffic, Osprey Foxtrot.
Ah, yes. If I zoom out, just there, you can see, I think that's Rab, just airborne.
Dust, I never pushed the button
Chasing
at
him
the
with my cursor. Which means Turin is down here somewhere. Yes, so Philip mentioning there in relation to, I think, Mark and the EasyJet. Have a little look to see if you've actually logged in. So you might have filed on the VATSIM network as BBX, but you might not have actually logged into vPilot as BBX, if that makes sense. So you might have actually logged in using an EasyJet call sign or something like that, and therefore you won't be able to pull your flight plan, and you'll be displayed differently because everyone's model matching will see you as an EasyJet call sign instead. There's the airport right underneath us.
And we'll wait for 2 minutes.
Below the tail on the left now, you can kind of see runway 36 to the threshold. Ooh, yes, who knows? Maybe they're warming up the runway for us. Ah, Rab, that wasn't you. So who was that then? Let's have a little look. We can spot them. Oh, it was Hergy. Hergy1234, creator of Oslo, Gardermoen and Alicante freewares. Yeah, all you've got to do, as Philip's saying, just disconnect from vPilot very briefly and reconnect using the new call sign. We'll try and make sure this the screenshots are properly pogged today. Currently, Don, the Alps, about to tickle over the Alps actually, so we are over, we're about to pass over Aosta. Apparently Zato's already ahead of us somehow. Zato's down here somewhere. He's done his own SID. Let's hope he's freight only, rather than taking it all into his own hands. But look at that, my goodness. All the screenshots will go on Volanta again. We'll leave Rex running all the way through the flight today as well, in lieu of live weather supposedly working or not.
Traffic, Itaero 2472 is rolling runway 36.
You can see Mont Blanc right in the distance. I think that's Mont Blanc. The big mountain there. Flight level 2, 3, 4, lights and signs. Everything's looking quite nice so far. We'll have a little nosy at Volanta whilst everybody's scrambling. So there we are at the moment. Zato's ahead of us. There's Mont Blanc, Chamonix Mont Blanc. Routing today over Lausanne, just north of Geneva. But there's that weird kidney-shaped departure that we've done. So initially outbound 36 with a right turn over San Benigno Caravese, over Chivasso, San Sebastiano d'Apo, and then all the way round over the airfield again, and then climbing up and away to fight the Alps.
traffic.
And that's our entire route, all the way up to Liverpool for the day.
Passing through Signal Peak, departing via the Takeoff 9 flight departure with the Zulu 5 Alpha transition.
Gone, absolutely. Carrying Osprey merch, snacks and gin. Mike, I probably, yeah, as Rav said, they're monitoring the live weather issues. Whether they get it solved or not, I really don't know, but kind of hard to tell. Apparently, Sato's right in front of us, about 8 miles. Climbing like a spaceship. Dylan, awesome. Are you flying into Liverpool on VATSIM as well then? From a different airport, or were you controlling? Nice.
Osprey 775 lining up runway 6.
As we predicted, over the mountains, turbulence. I was always told when I was flying as crew years ago, you'd stand at the back of the aircraft in the galley and you'd usually feel it pretty nasty at times, and the pilots at the front might be scratching their head in a big aeroplane like a 777-300 going, what turbulence? When you call them up and say, can you put the seatbelt signs on? And you're barely able to stand at the very back in the galley. Stuff going everywhere, and but I was always told if the pilots can feel it at the front, then it's pretty bad at the back, as a general rule of thumb. So if you're sitting in the flight deck and you get bumps in the front, it's usually about 4 or 5 times bad at the back for pilots. My goodness, what happened there? That was some extreme weather transition right there. I think that's Mont Blanc, isn't it? Although I'm at the minute. Oh, it is Mont Blanc. Lovely. Maybe we'd not to get a screenshot. I don't think we've flown this close to Mont Blanc before in the sim. Let's see. Got to make sure that's level with the horizon. We got a couple of different custom views here. That might be a good one for a little Mont Blanc screen grab. Apparently there's a lot of pens and perfume at the very top of that. Rumour is that's where Mont Blanc create the pens. Today's worst joke. Doing. That looks fine. 30,000 feet. Max 7.8. It's cool both sides of the aircraft, to be honest. It looks really good, doesn't it? Yeah, I suppose they are supposed to be white capped, aren't they? Kind of weird that it's not. Now you pointed it out, I can't unsee it. Did you guys see the breaking news as well earlier today of a really horrendous was it magnitude 7.4 earthquake has hit Turkey and parts of Syria, to the point where even hospitals have started to collapse. Christopher says, why would I want to buy pea soup? So when you go spotting, everybody knows you're a legend. How about that? Is that a good enough reason for you? You know what? Every time I see spotters at Heathrow, I drive past and I think to myself, I look and I'm like, I wonder if one of those has got one of my baseball caps or wearing one of my T-shirts. And I'm yet to find one. But if I do see somebody one day, I will be giving my horn a beat and maybe frantically waving. I'll be that random guy just waving at a stranger as we drive past. You'll definitely hear me though. Aaron's flying over Donny. R.I.P. Or Deeper Dolphin. I think the Antonov 225, when that arrives, will be even more chaotic for VATSIM than the A380. It depends where you go, Posley. There's a couple of places where you tend to always get spotters. Certainly the T5 roundabout as well. Or maybe that'll be a day we connect back as a controller and we'll pick somewhere with a really long runway and have an Antonov day controller session. Pick somewhere in the UK with a nice long obscure runway. I suppose it does, Jeff, yeah. Osprey 165 Super. Oh, fair enough. You can get some great views just by wandering, can't you, to be fair? Prestwick. There's no scenery for Prestwick, though. Let's let them put their lives into their own hands. Put the belts off. Yeah, 100%. Antonov 225 to Princess Juliana max graphics, I would imagine, would be some random people's YouTube thumbnail titles. Max graphics, 8K, 4070 Super, Antonov 225 in Princess Juliana. Something like that. You can see it now, can't you? Or like Antonov 225 St. Bart's. There's a challenge. Doc, that's actually not a bad shout. Maybe we bring Doncaster Sheffield back for a day. Although it's a very small airport, isn't it? That's the problem. Jeff, exactly, you know. Bruce, bingo, we've done it. Although, struggling on the old speed. 66 knot crosswind. Yeah, there you guys, yeah. Lukla, Sabah, London City, you can see it now, can't you? What the heck is going on with the speed? Let's just go to Toga a second. That's weird. Has anyone had this problem before? We're about to go into Alpha Floor in the Fenix. I am in perfectly inclined to turn, yeah. It'd be giving us the warning if we weren't as well. Very weird. Alpha floor, sorry, Dwell, yeah. Basically when your flying's too slow and the Airbus will then go to max thrust, but then we're already kind of at that now anyway, so... We are heavy though. I don't think we were that heavy. Max 6.5, jeez. Yeah, and we've got a 75 knot tailwind. It's bizarre. Oh, well, we're accelerating now. We disconnected and reconnected the auto throttle, Mark says. Is that actually a thing in the Fenix that's a bit of a bug or a problem then, or we just sort of troubleshooting tips? Oh, fair enough, Mark. I wonder if it's just weight, the weight of our aircraft, because now look how quickly we're accelerating. But then that's weird. If we're accelerating that quickly, we should be okay for flight level 340. Jacob, hello. Which aircraft? Do Mach 80. And now I'm going to wait to see if it captures it, because it does, yes. There we go. Oh, gonna hit VNE. Yeah, Ryan, that's a good shout. Optimal 350. Let's try again. If not, I'm gonna have some wacky stats. We'll just take a slow climb up. See how she handles it. Rab, yes, how did it go? Now you've completed the full flight. I'm going to do a direct to DJL here, because that's next. But I'm conscious people behind would have begun to catch up on us, basically, because of the slight issue that we had of slowing down there. This is a little tactical direct 2. We've got a company message apparently. Osprey Ops. Delay for 1 minute. How are we doing? Speed's holding still at 330. Digital Scars, welcome. Saying that the next aircraft you're buying is the Fenix A320. Very nice. Yeah, I've never seen that problem before, Ryan, either. It's bizarre. Unless it's maybe a weight issue that it's not happy with. Doesn't really make sense though, does it? There's Zato. We're going to converge in a moment on a waypoint coming up. And interestingly now it's able to actually hold our altitude. Look, Mach 8, in fact Mach 80 even faster than what we initially set. So bizarre. I've never had that issue before. Yeah, I'm hoping whenever Fenix version 2 comes, it's going to address a lot of the frustrating things that we see every single time we fly the jet. It gets quite frustrating at times, doesn't it? That's the thing. Basically, top of climb, and then it just was completely unable to hold at the airspeed, to the point we almost went to alpha floor, so descended 2,000 feet to try and solve the problem, and buy a little bit of time as well. Could be Monday. But hey ho, we're back at 340, and we're doing Mach 80 now as well, so even faster than before. Trying to catch screenshot with Zato in the front. Sorry Jacob, yes, you're asking about tips with step climbs in the Fenix. So go to prog, and basically it's telling us now we're currently at flight level 340. It's suggesting the optimum is 350, but the actual max would be, well, realistically, flight level 370 for us there. Step climbs, I'm trying to remember where it is now. Is it in here? No. It's not in those. Trying to remember where it is in the Fenix now. I'm used to the 737. There we go. My goodness. So, have a look at your prog page, Jacob. See what it's suggesting. So our optimum for best fuel efficiency is flight level 350 at the moment, but we're flying flight level 340 because our direction of travel at the moment allows for even flight levels, not odd flight levels. If we were flying the other way and we were at flight level 330, we could consider climbing a little step climb to flight level 350. You go flight plan, pick a waypoint, press one of the right keys, step Alps is an option there, and then you can have a little look at different altitudes at waypoints and things. So if you wanted to get a suggestion of, I don't know, what are we now, 340, have we maybe look at flight level 380 as a step, we could just type that in as an altitude only and go for optimal point. And if we look at the temporary flight plan, we should see SC for step climb in here if it's possible, but it's not. But that's basically how you do it. Now, if you had a waypoint that said, for example, on your SimBrief flight plan, you had CLM/flight level 360, you could do the same thing. So you could go into CLM, you could type flight level 360, and then you could go waypoint CLM, and basically you're telling the aeroplane at that point, I want to be at flight level 360 at CLM as a step climb. But it's warning us there's no optimal step climb because of our weights today, so we are flying as heavy and as high as we can go with this altitude already. Hopefully that answers the question. Thanks Aaron as well, popping it in the live chat in fact. Alberto, good morning to you down in Chile. Very subtle livery, so subtle in fact you can barely see it. It's cool though, right? over Dijon already, into French airspace. My goodness. Making good progress towards Paris at the moment. You can download this livery for free as well, folks. It's on flightsim.to, it's on our website as well, britishavigeek.com, in the MSFS livery section for those of you who fly for Osprey Airways. You can download it and enjoy it. This particular livery has actually got two versions. So it had the old tail, which is the one that I believe is on the thumbnail for this stream today, and then the second one being this one with the new updated tail there, which actually looks really good. Actually, I think I prefer this one. But there's an option of two to choose from, and it's also updated into the Osprey BMR, so you should be able to see it in model matching too, if that's what B-Pilot decides to model match with. There is also a PMDG 737 Osprey Eurovision special livery as well coming soon, that is being worked on with both avsim and TAPSI together. Doc saying it's a little bit superstitious, but Monday's colour is yellow and therefore it's the perfect livery for today. Badger says my speed went down 230 knots. I guessed it was Rex weather. Turned it off and the speed went back to normal, and now live weather is working. Good grief. That's really weird. So do you think it's a bug with Rex weather? Hopefully, I've got about an hour before I've got a mega delivery coming. It's not super-sized, but certainly not going to take me a vast amount of time, I should probably say, but it's one of those I'll have to go run downstairs for. Look at the crosswind today, 115 knots right to left. So we've discussed this before as well, for those of you who perhaps tuning in for the first time, wondering what the difference is between heading and track. In the Airbus, it kind of makes it a little bit easier for us to understand. So our heading, if I just wiggle it, is 326 degrees. And that is there where the little blue bug is. So our heading, the direction that the nose is pointing at, is where that yellow arrow, yellow line is, and also the blue arrow for heading select bug. But our track is actually where our flight plan line goes off that way. So our track is 312 degrees against a heading of 326 degrees. It's a huge, huge correction to the wind there. So he's just got a really good arm. He can throw that high. I think they are, Jacob. Yes, I think they're working on the other engine variant. Is it so that there's an option between the IAEs and the CFMs? I know they were mentioning doing sharklets as well for the wing fencing, which is quite nice. But again, I have no idea how long it takes for any of this to come, because they've been really slow with the way they update the aircraft. I know they're working on version 2, which is going to be one big solvable type kind of update. But I've got to say, I think they could probably be a bit more proactive with it. Chris, are you in a particular aircraft for that? Because a lot of aeroplanes, like the PMDG 737, the Fenix A320, the Flyby A320X, you should never use the default weight and balance toggle for the thing. because you risk breaking the aeroplane and causing problems, basically, from what I understand. Delta Tango, good day, welcome. Very nice, drop the kids to jazz band. Those of you wondering what the stream schedule for the week coming up is going to be like, I'm hoping to stream Friday, which will be before night shift, but it's all dependent on what my actual start time at work is going to be for nights. We have like an early handover and a normal handover time, so that there's permanent coverage sort of thing with what I do. So it all depends on that really. So Friday's a little bit 50-50, but if not, it's going to be Sunday most likely for a flight. 100% will be in the PMDG 737-900, probably the ER variant as well, because that's snazzy. And we'll be flying KLM Amsterdam to Alicante for our first flight with Hergy's Scenery, Hergy1234 in the live chat. So that'll be the next flight we're going to be doing. It's either going to be Friday or Sunday, most likely Sunday. That's the day that I can probably say for certainty that we'll be doing a stream. And then beyond that, the stream after that will probably be the 15th. The only 2 streams able to be done over the next sort of week or so. My dad's actually coming back from Spain for a few days for a funeral, but we are going to meet up. I've not seen him for about 2.5 years because of COVID. And I'm going to use the opportunity Monday as well, of course, to go see the mother in hospital. Chris, loaded up the A310 to check the strange external thing I mentioned. I guess you're only meant to use it through the tablet, as you say. I'll load assessment 6 there. Interesting, yes. Give it a go. Darren, good afternoon. It's still touch and go, Ian, from what I understand. Haven't really had many updates, but yeah, she's still in hospital. Making progress, albeit slowly, I think, from what I understand. Let's revisit Valanta. Let's have a little look, see how we're all getting on. So there's all our screenshots today so far already. That's the thumbnail. Badger Osprey 919, he's airborne already over Paris. Wow. Good effort. Zato Osprey 2306, followed closely by us. Then we've got Hergy 5 Papa Lima, Osprey 5 Papa Lima. Over Dijon Fritz, Osprey 804 Foxtrot. Ian as well. Itaro 2472. He's airborne over Dole at the moment, or Dole Tavo Airport. And then who have we got here? Marky Mark in the A320. Osprey 775. Philip as well, good evening to you in Australia. Osprey 5563 flying along. He's got airborne over, he's over Lake Geneva at the moment. And I think that is him at the back of the pack. Jolly good. Certainly looks that way. Excellent. So 2, 3, 4, 5 landings at least to watch. No pressure. I'm also very tempted to get Sky Dolly fired up because we have got there's a new version of Sky Dolly that's been released which apparently fixes a lot of issues with crash to desktops and the sim hanging and a few other bits over the last few versions. So we'll be looking at doing that, maybe recording the touchdown, testing that out too. But then 50-50 as to whether or not I want to risk doing that and causing a crash to desktop, or we just watch everybody's touchdowns. I reckon I'll record it, watch everyone's touchdowns, and if we're still good, we can then rewind and watch our replay of our landing as well, perhaps. Who knows? That's another option. Delta Tango says, I know it's tiresome that everyone wants every great livery for their own favourite airliner, but I would proudly fly this gorgeous paint scheme across Europe in fly-by-wire. That's not a bad shout, to be fair, having something like that. We've not got many fly-by-wire A320 liveries, have we? So perhaps it'd be time to do a nice A320 Neo Osprey Holidays livery, a special edition livery sort of thing. Abdul, welcome, tuning in for the first time as well. It's great to have you on board with us. I hope you're okay, having a good week so far. Thanks for subscribing. Brits, you just run Sky Dolly, you hit the record button until you finish recording, and then you can click the record button again, and then it just allows you to pull the little toggle. It rewinds and fast forwards where you want it to, and you just click play to make it play as well, and it will play where you've got the toggle set to onwards. Abdul, we are on VATSIM indeed, yes. The Fenix A320, which I always forget has the standby compass nestled away really nicely there. It's like Airbus thought of it when they created the A320 all those years ago. Nice, neat and tidy flight deck. Chris, yeah, so if you're flying the PMDG 737, the Fenix A320 or the fly-by-wire A320X, I know for certain that you should never use the weight and balance tab up here. In fact, there it is. You should never use that because it causes problems. Screenshots on Volanta, eh? Oh, there he is, Sato, in his Osprey World Cargo A300 600F, isn't it, I think? I think it is. Tell you what, you can't mistake screenshots like that, can you? You certainly can't miss those. What airline you flying? Look how bright that is. Brilliant. Yeah, there's something quite nice, isn't it, about Boeing flight decks in flight sim. I think it's quite rewarding to try and kind of tackle those. Let's get cabin view for a little while, shall we? Well, remind me, I'll switch to the other side actually in a moment, because actually we'll do that now because we're going to be passing Paris. What we got? How long we got left? Ooh, a little while yet. I think we are almost at the halfway point, aren't we? So it was 2.5 hours total flight time, I believe. So about an hour and 15 minutes left of flight today. And at the minute, oh, hello. That'd be a window frame. We're looking for Paris. Going to be over there somewhere. To be honest, actually, it's probably even further away. In fact, there it is. That's Paris, isn't it? That massive city there. Kind of looking out for our position relative to Paris Charles de Gaulle, but I think we are passing slightly too far north for it, to be honest. I can see Liam. He's out of Paris Charles de Gaulle to, in the as Tom Jet 094. So where is our actual flight plan route? So we're going to go over CLM. Okay, so when we get to CLM, we look left and down. We should have Paris Charles de Gaulle below. It's going to be underneath this cloud somewhere, slightly obscured out of the way. But that's where Liam is at the moment, waiting to depart for a flight to join the sequence of us into... Where's the weather gone? My goodness. Into Liverpool. There you go. As Christopher's saying, the airport button on the FCU will tell you where where Charles de Gaulle is. We'll try and spot that during a cruise as we go past. Surely we can't miss that, right? Delta Tangus has been flying Spirit in the US in the sim. Thought as a rookie I shouldn't be flying legacy carriers like Delta just yet. It turns out I've come to love the bright yellow. It really stands out against the terrain. I think we've flown Spirit once in the sim. Emmerich, I'm not sure, to be honest. For us, it was working when we spawned in, and then it had a little bit of a dizzy spell, and all of the skies went clear again, which is a bit weird, but it just seems quite unreliable at the moment, live weather. So what we're actually doing is we're feeding in Rex Weather Force Pro instead with its live weather synthesis. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Deeper Dolphin, an airline that would allow us to rack up air miles for discounted flights by flying their airline and flight sim. Is that Charles de Gaulle? Or is that Orly? I think that might be Orly. Yeah. So right out there, that looks like Orly. This is the massive spread that is Paris in all its vastness. And Charles de Gaulle. My goodness. Go away, Paris, with your horrible frame rates. Still under the clouds somewhere. I'm hoping if we can spot Le Bourget we can spot Charles de Gaulle, and if we can spot Charles de Gaulle, we can spot Le Bourget. Badger, yeah, it's massive. 7.8 now, is it? My goodness. It's floored hospitals, all sorts of stuff. It's really nasty across Turkey and some parts of Syria as well. Absolutely Delta Tango, 100%. I mean, it's great to see now a lot of airlines. Oh, you know what? There's Charles de Gaulle. Great to see lots of airlines now beginning to bring in sponsorship schemes once again. But for people like me, folk like me who are now into their 30s with a career and a mortgage and everything else, we don't have that opportunity to risk everything to try and pursue our dreams, sadly. So it kind of rules us out, it kind of excludes us from those sort of sponsorships, which is a bit of a shame. I think if they looked at more inclusive ways to create sponsorships, that would be quite nice. But bearing in mind they would only get a few years before they get their kind of money back, if you like, on their investment of training. There's Charles de Gaulle from the cabin. Oh. Dylan, I can't talk about it, sadly. What I do for work. I do work currently at Heathrow, though. Rab says, I was watching a real-world flight into Naples last night, and it was the same controller we had in the sim. That's incredible.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. How about that? So the actual Buongiorno Naples event, or Buongiorno Italy event that we did the other day, flying Tel Aviv into Naples, we had a real controller flying us in, or guiding us in. That's pretty slick. That's the thing with VATSIM. There are a lot of real-world controllers actually taking part on VATSIM as well. So you do get some incredibly good controllers. Though then, with the incident that happened yesterday or the day before with the FedEx and the Southwest jet in the States, it makes me wonder if sometimes that's a bad thing. It kind of, when I heard about that issue with the FedEx freighter and the Southwest almost crashing into each other on the runway the other day, I had a little moment where I thought to myself, we discussed it in the club lounge on Discord as well, in the crew room chat actually on Discord, I did think to myself, I wonder if he controls on VATSIM as well and he's got used to just sending planes, hitting them into narrower gaps and all that sort of stuff. Who knows? Ian, I love that. Asking how long you'd be in the holds for. You're in a... People forget they're in a massive event. We were really lucky actually to go straight in. 3-4 of us on the bounce before they then started to stack people into the holds. Poor Fritz got sent round the houses. Round the boot of Italy and back again.
For a traffic taxiing Lima, Tango 12 for runway 26 right.
MG King, yeah, absolutely. Should never have been cleared to line up. I think you were caught in delays at departure as well, weren't you, Ian? There was a couple of people held for about 30 minutes at Tel Aviv, and then got caught again for another 30 minutes into Naples. Only added an hour back onto your flight. Yeah, it's a lot of real controllers, Ryan, on VATSIM, controlling on VATSIM too. Automator, good day. Thankfully no spy balloons around us today, not yet anyway. I'm hoping the couriers arrive in the next 30 minutes before we start thinking and briefing with the descent and things. There's a lot of ATC online by the looks of it. We've got, is it Southend, Stansted, Luton, Birmingham I can pick up already. We're flying into EGGP, I should say. Winds 180 at 3 knots at the moment, 120 degrees, variable 210 degrees, cav OK, 8 degrees Celsius, plus 1 degrees dew point, and the QNH 1039er, wowzers. Hey Christopher, wowzers, 24 months, Silver Frequent Flyer. Thank you for all of your ongoing support. You're going to need a shiny badge for sure. Mark, the problem was they were using, members of the public were using guns to try and shoot at it. That's the crazy thing about it with America. They had members of the public actually firing their own AR-15s and things into the sky to try and see if they could shoot it down at 60,000 feet, and then a local police department had to remind people on Twitter that what comes up must come down again, and that you can't just willy-nilly far into the sky hoping to get a balloon satellite out. Oh, I've no idea why you'd even think that would be a good idea, but hey ho. Rabner, that's normal. Yeah, that's correct. So the taxi you would get, say for example your scenario there at Gatwick, it would be taxi hold point Alpha 1, runway 26 left, I'm trying to remember now, via Lima, Papa, Alpha November. You'd then read that back as well, and if it's correct, the controller would never say anything back at you. It's a worldwide thing. If there's an issue or he hasn't heard you, then he would call you up again basically to clarify that your taxi instructions and your routing, you've received it correctly and you understand where he's telling you to go. But if you read it back correctly, there's no need to respond again, unless he tells you to hold position for whatever reason. Say for example something else develops and he's got to help hold you in your position at that moment in time to, I don't know, stop a ground crash, or in real life to help emergency services or something move around aircraft on the ground to get to a fire or a crash or something. Yeah, yeah. It reminded me of something I'd kind of expect to see on Team America World Police. Do you know what I mean? That level of stupidity with it, with the shooting at the air balloon. It did make me laugh. And then I thought, my goodness, who has it hit? What have all of these stray bullets hit? And how many bullets have there been for them to have to tweet out to say, please don't shoot at it? Similarly, because we had have I heard airport sim? It rings a bell, but I can't think what it is in relation to. Is that the one made by Phil Their Sim, who make LaGuardia for MSFS? Probably, Mark, with their baseball caps on. Right, so Doc made a good point when we were looking at the flight plan for this into Liverpool today. Liverpool's position is actually a little bit weird. So if we go to Volanta, it's probably the best way to kind of investigate this. We'd have to go all the way up to have a look over Leicester. Here we go. There's Manchester. So because of its proximity between Manchester and Liverpool, Manchester being very, very busy of course as well, the runway configuration at Liverpool is a lot of the time dependent on the configuration at Manchester. And there's nobody on the ground at Manchester. Okay, well he looks like he's arriving. Look, no idea what that is. RYN344. No such call sign exists, I don't think. But he looks like he's establishing for 23 right somehow. So 27 would be the runway in use at Liverpool. If you think about it, say for example you've got aircraft coming in here, they're departing now, but you then have aircraft taking off on 09 at Liverpool because the wind favours that. But they've got traffic departing on 23 left or right at Manchester. They're all converging at the same time, or if you get a go around for like maybe at the same time as well, increases the level of risk. So I think I might be right in saying Doc might have to guide me a little bit better on that one though. 27 would be the one we're using still, which is what we planned for into Liverpool. Oh Doc, yeah, I've seen some videos of it. I know the one you mean now. But yeah, I think it's the sort of thing you'd get and then you'd get very bored quite quickly. Andy, hello, are you flying the new Spirit style livery for Osprey? Is there fighting on board at the moment? Not yet, but we are flying the livery. Apparently a couple of people have lost their hair curlers. Are they called hair curlers? Rollers, like the hair roller things that you know what I mean. But here it is, Banana Glory, in the colours of the Ukraine, almost, at least half of them. Liam's got some screenshots up. Rab says I had a very nervous EasyJet rookie taken off before me. I felt sorry for him. Try and find Liam's screenshots. Volanta's being problematic again. Ah, I can see them now. So I have to find the pilot for some reason. They obviously got a bit of a server issue. I have to find the pilot first, and then from there I can locate them. In fact, is that our contrail just there? That might be very nicely timed. Let's see what Fritz has put up. Any screen grabs? Oh my goodness, loads. I wish Volanta showed them. That's great. Look at the contrail. The graphics on your sim, Fritz, just mind-boggling. I was pricing up a PC again today because I find myself really wanting to run the sim in 4K. pushing out 2K stream and having a much better performing rig. And that everything was coming to about £3,500, which is just crazy money. That looks glorious. Look at that. Splatterings of snow. Jolly good. Philip. All screenshots. Zato's over the channel already. Look out for them dinghies. And there's a second screenshot from Zato. That's great. Action shot. Okay, let's look at arrivals then. Yeah, I think this year ahead I'm going to be trying to save up, Liam, so I can try and purchase a whole new rig. We've got a 94 knot crosswind. It's all very expensive though, isn't it? That's the problem. Right, 6 approaches, ILS 27, straight on final. So this is what we're going to be doing into Liverpool, folks. Elvos 1 Lima arrival. We've got to be at flight level 200 at Elvos, passing just west of East Midlands Airport. Fingers crossed for a Pyre Devco East Midlands releasing soon. Trent VOR 1157 into Nantes flight level 100, and then Kegun max 210 knots flight level 70. From there we're most likely going to be turning right and flying a bit of a downwind leg at that point, max 210 knots, because the let's see. Oh, there we go. We could just fly that. There was a real flight that operated yesterday in a Hawker, Beechcraft Hawker, flew Turin to Liverpool yesterday in real life. What they actually did was turn right and flew a downwind followed by base into final turn. So we could either do that or we could fly this Cat C&D teardrop procedural approach here. What do you guys reckon? You can choose. Pop in the live chat. Downwind. The word downwind for downwind leg. We try and squeeze a downwind leg into it, or standard for the standard procedural turns. In the meantime, we need to set up. Arrival. ILS 27. Elvos 1 Lima. Exactly, Automator. Yeah, so my current PC I would have as a streaming rig once I can work out how to sort all that out though. Well, in a Cooper Timpo, Elvos Trent, Nantes 100, 250, Kegun 7, 210, and then finals. We could just vector ourselves, Doc, to be honest. That's the problem, Fricks. That's the problem. Right, okay, so that's that done. Minimums 178. Transition altitude. It's very high pressure. We'll go for 6,000. We get different entry in this. It's flight level 60. That'll do. Approach speed of 137, landing speed of 132, much slower than the 737's 150 odd knot approaches that we've been enjoying over the last few days. And here is Blighty. You know what the one thing we haven't looked out for? Ships. There's Dover. We've got the Aerosoft stuff, haven't we? The Aerosoft North Sea Pack. There's a contrail of someone flying away from us up there. To be fair now, I'm not expecting to see any clouds because we've got some beautiful weather over the UK at the moment, which is clear skies, sunny spells, coldish weather though, but 8 degrees actually feels really warm because of how bright and sunny it is at the moment. It's really nice. They're going to think a second sun is moving across the sky field down below. Let's do our landing calculations. Happy days. That's a question. Far up sim brief and have a little look. I want an estimated landing weight, 63 tonne. That's heavy, isn't it? My goodness, it reckons we're going to use all the runway. What about medium auto brake? There we go, that's a bit safer. Idle max reverse. Full flap. That'll do. And Dan's just trying landing at Vega with 35 knot crosswind and 800 foot of cloud base with the citation longitude and ended up in the fence. Question is which fence? Don't forget to smash the like button while you're here, folks, as well. If you're new to the channel, it's great to have you on board. If you're enjoying the content, hit that shiny red subscribe button down below as well. Avsim, hello to you. There's your livery in all its glory over the Kent. Beautiful Kent at the moment, England's Garden, as it's known. Is it England's Garden? Something like that. What was that boot noise I just heard? Air France Concorde not matching standard. Garden of England, absolutely. Home of many apple orchards as well. There's some absolute whoppers. I wish they'd toned down the contrails as well. It's a little bit weird looking, isn't it, at the moment? That's something else I'd like to see the Fenix kind of sort out. Oh, Aaron. Ergy, it's Rex. One of the weird things that Rex does. Again, it's something else I'm not really a fan of. the way Rex does its water input stuff. There's London Heathrow. That's somebody. No, it's not. It's mud, dirt on the screens. Yeah, there's London Heathrow. Gatwick is down there somewhere. In fact, there's Gatwick. Lovely jubbly. Gatwick on the left, Heathrow on the right. Ram Transport, welcome back. I bet the delivery company comes literally as I'm in top of descent. Once they arrive, I'll be approximately 2 minutes. The most rushed 2 minutes that I'll have had in weeks. Trying to get this two-man delivery team to get a whole load of heavy boxes hauled into the house in time. There's London. That's worthy of a screenshot in itself, to be honest. We should try and grab that while we can. There we are. Somebody play the EastEnders theme tune quick. Our diversion airport is Heathrow today. We struggle to get into Liverpool. And it looks like we are on Unicom all the way. Avsim says taxis fixed the Eurovision Special 737 livery. Awesome. Andrew saying, good morning Andrew, if I was in the 737 you could just turn the autopilot off and VFR flight to Liverpool with the clear skies. To be fair, we could probably get away with doing that in the Fenix. It would be, in theory, even easier. Delta Tango, why are we using Rex today? That's because live weather's been problematic. But I am tempted to turn live weather back on again for the arrival into Liverpool. What do you guys reckon? Ooh, who's that? Traffic going across. Andrew, absolutely. The next stream for us will be the 737-900 ER. We're going to be doing KLM Amsterdam to Alicante, which is a nice little route. We've got the freeware Alicante scenery by Hergy1234 in the chat. He's flying along today as well with us. So we've got to go and celebrate that. Awesome bit of scenery there. It's just been updated as well by Hergy, so it's a brand new update with it. Chris has got some new screenshots put onto Volanta. My goodness, look at this. Who's that? Is that me? It might well be. Thought I really like that one. Weird. Where is he? he literally... Oh, it's not a turkey. Ah, awesome. I reckon we could potentially... It's all dependent on this this company coming, to be honest, but we could, in theory, try and hand fly this whole thing in. The whole arrival, perhaps, with the skies like this. I'm very tempted to actually put live weather back on in the sim as well. Turn off Rex and put live weather back on again. What do you guys reckon? Let's give it a go. So stop weather synthesis on Rex. Weather. Live weather. Whoa! Can't be that different, surely. Live weather. Surely it can't be that different. Sure, that's bizarre. All of a sudden we've got a whole lot of other... It's weird. Oh well. Boogie, hello. Favourite airline for me, British Airways. Old school days though, Britannia in real life. Failing that in the sim world, Osprey Airways of course. Rab, yeah, I think so. Ah, what the heck? Well, that's not correct. Hey, it looks nice, but it's clear skies where I am. Alright, we'll give it a few minutes, just see what it does. It might well just dissipate. We'll give it a few minutes. Right, top descent coming up. What do we want to go down to? It was, to be honest, I could probably just set 2,000 to see what happens, couldn't we? Or, no, actually 7,000, we'll just do 7. Go open. Let's go set manage speeds. Let the VNAV take over the descent. Bring up your flow weather again, want to cross check it with yours. That's what I've got at the moment with live weather. 92 degrees at 16 miles an hour, minus 56, not that, QNH 1039. Which in fairness is correct. I'm going to set QNH 1039 now. And then go back to standard pressure. And then in the standby instruments, 1039. Let's get that set ready. No clouds though for Fritz. Weird, isn't it? You know what? They are slowly thinning out by the looks of it, so Perhaps they will dissipate. It'll all be fine. Let's go to constraints mode. Going for that crazy descent now with VNAV and the Fenix. Almost as if it's ever so slightly broken. 4,000 foot per minute and climbing. Depot Dolphin says, for airports that don't have any restrictions on the star, what descent do you recommend? You need to calculate it. Usually the best thing to do really is have a look at the descent planning video that I've done in my VATSIM tutorials. We go through a few little tips and tricks about how to work out your top of descent, but realistically you want to start descent probably about 90 miles roughly, 90 or so nautical miles from being near to your approach as a really rough estimate.
Norfolk traffic, this is Echo Hotel Mike Sierra, taxi runway 07, Norfolk traffic.
I think most likely the next stream is going to be on Sunday. Probably a little bit after 1 o'clock because I finished night shift that morning. Usually I won't get home until about 8 o'clock in the morning, so it might be about 2 o'clock UK time Sunday. We'll be looking at flying a stream, and it will be that 737-900ER route from Amsterdam down to Alicante to chase the sunshine. Depot Dolphin, it's all up to you. All up to you. Whatever you think is going to work the best, really. For me, we could just set 2,000 and go all the way down to 2,000. If the VNAV data is correct, the VNAV should be able to handle it all the way down in certain aircraft. Certainly the 737 from PMTG is very good at that. Or you could do it in a couple of steps. So you could do down to 7,000 initially, like what we're doing today, and then you could work further down to 4,000, 2,000, that sort of thing.
Norfolk Tracker, Echo Hotel Mike Sierra, departing runway 07, heading north, east. Norfolk traffic.
I'm sure it'll be fine, MPS Gaming. Bets, welcome. That, I think, could well be East Midlands Airport. Yes, because that's the M1 motorway going up, which is where the BMI crashed years ago. So there's East Midlands Airport, soon to be payware scenery from Pyreek Devco in the near, not too distant future. Very excited for that. I'm hoping I might be able to stream on Friday as well, like we mentioned earlier on in the stream. Friday, probably be a bit short. Maybe we do a little bit of VFR flying or something a bit enjoyable somewhere for about an hour or so, buzz about. One thing I do want to showcase is some of the new sound work packs from Boris from Flybois. He's got his own payware sound add-ons now for the Cessna 172 and a few other aircraft like the SR-22 as well. So perhaps we do something like that. RAM, not sure if it's going to come to Xbox, to be honest. I would imagine it would do at some point in the future. Yeah, hopefully Yoep can be our ground controller for that. That would be good, wouldn't it? avsim, what do I hear? Oh, sounds very rough. Durham, the hidden gem of the UK. My goodness. Trent VOR coming up. See, you guys know how bad my luck is at times, and I guarantee, as we're looking to begin a final approach, we will have my delivery van turn up, and I'll be fuming. But I might just tell them to dump it outside. It's a nice day, it's not like it's raining, is it? Got to fly the plane. Aviate, navigate, communicate. And then there's an extra one, just in case. Shout down your ring camera. Alberto, yeah, St. Amar's far would be epic, wouldn't it? Let's set medium auto brake. That's on 2000 anyway, that's all good. We're going to leave that armed for the time being. Mark says, awesome, just had a jet fly underneath me and there's someone at my 11 o'clock. Yeah, VATSIM's alive around here at the moment. Depod. How many times have people been caught out? I swear they wait round the corner. Mark, you'll be absolutely fine. If in doubt, listen to what people are broadcasting on Unicom around us. Try and work out your spacing from there. UNH still 1039, 7 degrees Celsius, dew point 1 degrees, cav OK, and winds are variable at 2 knots for Liverpool. Yeah, Exeter's got some nice freeware. Bitch, you're in the 737, aren't you? See, over Trent now. Liverpool traffic, Osprey 165 is A320, flight level 155 for 7,000. Inbound Elvos 1 Lima, arrival expecting ILS 27, currently over Trent, inbound Nanty. Will report Nanty, Liverpool traffic. Liverpool Airport specifically is, I think, right there. Oh, hold on. There's water, water, water. There it is. There's Liverpool. Just coming into view right in the distance. Delta Tango, just I figured it might be useful passing Trent because we're now inbound halfway in the star. We're inbound to the airport now, so I just figured it might be easier for us to do that. Bit of a natural point to call up. $278, I'm going to change this. Because I reckon we hand fly the whole thing in. What do you think? The people behind won't know. I'll give it about 20 seconds, but basically pop in the live chat, hand fly, or AP for autopilot, and that will basically be the decider between us hand fly now all the way in, or we keep the autopilot on until the basically until we get to the ILS approach, and then we fly from there. And when we say hand fly, do we turn the auto thrust off as well? That's pretty substantial, isn't it? Let's do it. Autopilot's off.
Liverpool traffic, Osprey, Liverpool, Pushback, Turin. Down on Alps 1 Lima arrival for ALS 270. Liverpool traffic.
That's it, it's basically a massive PA-28. I reckon we turn the auto thrust off as well. Warnings for auto flight, auto thrust off, thrust levers move.
We're gonna call when we're turning free for the ILS 37.
So I'm going to use this as a reference now. $250. Hey, you know what? If we can do this in the 737, why can't we do it in the A320? Certainly as well as Rab saying 146 style too. Delta Tango says, serious question, if you are inbound in a star on Unicom and a controller pops on, who should you do what first? I would say I would be looking at contacting the controller. It depends what controller's online. So if it's approach, for example, that comes online, I would speak to them. If it's ground, just tune in ready just in case. Oh, ruddy clouds. Where did these come from? They've just made it more difficult. We need some dramatic music. Drum roll, please, that sort of thing.
Liverpool traffic, jumping on vacation runway 09, Liverpool.
That's all good. Gonna set heading mode. Set this line in as well. Track FPA, flight directors off because we are hand flying the jet. Speed's 250. We're going to throttle back a tiny bit more, I think.
Liverpool traffic, Osprey 2306, turning base for the ILS 27.
We have people flying into what, runway 09. My goodness, why? Maximum concentration now, folks. This is. Do bear with me. Okay, we're hand flying. Autopilot off and auto thrust off. Speed at the minute 245 knots, descending 8,800 feet. Got a high QNH actually, so we are actually higher than we realise. Lights and signs. So for that I'm going to bring the thrust down even more. Liverpool traffic, Osprey 165 is 5 miles west of Nantes inbound for the ILS. Runway 27 is hand flying, no automation.
Liverpool traffic, Osprey 2306, full established on the ILS 27. We are
Let's go
currently
idle.
10 miles out.
I've got whoever that is there. Don't know who that is. Easy 991, Dylan. Let's go to local pressure. So actually now we've gained another 1,000 feet.
Liverpool traffic, Osprey 804 Foxtrot.
At what's the lowest name? At Nantes, 10,000 feet. Liverpool traffic.
I just say this guy's name. Love it. Right, so over Huarden.
Clearing flight level 094 from flight level 702.
Start a right turn. I'm going to go for 30 degrees pitch. We're near the green dot speed. We are going to be left downwind, visual approach. Liverpool traffic, Osprey 165 is turning left downwind midfield for a visual approach, runway 27.
Liverpool traffic, Osprey 2306 is on a 5-mile final, runway 27.
That's all
Liverpool.
fine. 1, 2, 3. You know what we want as well? Control visualizer, folks. You can see my inputs. Final warning to the crew. There's the airport. Little bit of thrust. We'll keep the jet coming down as well. Swift, is my live weather working? No idea. No idea. One thing I haven't done actually is put fixed rings in today, but it's too late now for me to worry about that.
For Liverpool traffic, connecting to Charlie Romeo 27. Sorry, Charlie Fox 27 turns out here for Liverpool traffic.
Who was that? What? You can't go direct to the final approach. You've got to fly the star, because otherwise it's going to get in the way of everybody. Don't know who that one was. Okay, we're flying a downwind leg. Go flaps 1. Bring that speed slowly down to about 180. It's going to be left
Liverpool
base.
traffic, Osprey 5, Papa Lima, anti-flag 100, ILS 27 by Liverpool, Francis.
So there's ever so gentle descent in for us at the moment, just to try and help bring the aeroplane down. I want to aim for a bit of a continuous descent down to about 2,000 feet before we actually arrive at 6 miles to hand fly this whole thing in.
Liverpool traffic, Osprey 804 Foxtrot, down to 7,500 feet. Inbound Keegan, about to take a right to the localizer of Liverpool traffic.
Let's get Toby eye tracker on. Let's see how good this is in a situation like this, shall we? Liverpool traffic, Osprey 165 is left base 27.
Liverpool traffic, Osprey 2306 vacated, runway 27 via Alpha. Will be taxiing to the cargo ramp via Alpha Tango.
Make sure you smash the like button, folks. (266).
2,500.
Go flap 2. So we've got to be nice and smooth on the controls. Down to 160. Where are we? 10 miles. Holding at 2,000 feet. It's flaps 3. Over the motorway. Liverpool traffic, Osprey 165 is 10 mile turning final, runway 27 to land. I'm not sure actually, David, to be honest. I've turned the sensitivities right down on it. Let's go gear down. Watching the airspeed there. My goodness. Yeah, I haven't got auto thrust either. We're manually controlling this. I turned the... Yeah, that's it. Eye tracking I've turned pretty much almost off. Yeah, so eye tracking I've turned almost off completely, and then from there I've basically tweaked and turned down the sensitivities, a lot of the head tracking as well. I find it was a little bit overblown. A little bit rough there. What do you guys reckon the touchdown rating is going to be then? Landing rate monitor is going to pop it on for us when we do arrive.
Tomjet 0904, turning right on base for runway 27 at Liverpool.
You can hear the concentration, Ram says. Yes, feeling the pressure. Full flap now, gears down in 3 green. Spoilers armed.
Liverpool traffic, Osprey 804 Foxtrot, overhead Liverpool VOR, inbound ILS 27.
137. So we're pretty much at final approach speed now, 142.
1000.
Flight slow.
We're below, but that's we're hand flying a visual
Flight
approach
slow.
here, so we're ignoring the ILS.
Flight slow.
We have let it sink somewhat a
Flight
little
slow.
bit more so than we probably should have done. Clear that. Warning. We'll sail along for a moment at 1,000 feet as well. Two red, two white. Let's bring that thrust down a little bit. That's going to allow the aeroplane to begin a bit more of a descent. Hey Doc, what stand were we supposed to be parking at, buddy?
Right base onto ALS 27, Liverpool traffic.
500.
Tom J, 0 for 10 minute final from 7, Liverpool traffic.
My God. I think we almost accidentally triggered the
Liverpool traffic, Javelin.
reverse thrust there. That's buggered us up a little bit. Hold on.
Lining up runway 27 behind, Javelin 1.
100.
We got it.
40. 30. 20. Retard. 5.
Hold the flare. My goodness, we're floating.
5. Retard. Retard. Retard.
There's my issue with the reverse thrust there. So I've had to go to manual brakes.
Tom J, 0 for
It's the really annoying issue that I've got with the Fenix with the reverse thrusters. So that was my workaround to try and sort out the reverse thrust issue, and that didn't even work either. But we tried. Liverpool traffic, Osprey 165 vacated at Delta.
Liverpool traffic, Javelin 1, taking off runway 27, entering the left circuit, Javelin 1.
For your safety and the safety of those around you, please remain
Liverpool
seated
traffic,
with
Osprey
your
5 Papa
seatbelt
Lima
securely
over
fastened.
Liverpool
Keep the aisles
EGGP
clear
for
until
ILS.
the aircraft is parked at the gate and the engines have been switched off. The captain will then turn off the fasten seatbelt sign, indicating it is safe to move around the cabin. Please use caution when opening the overhead Not my compartments smoothest. and removing any items, since items may have shifted during the flight. You may now switch on any electronic devices again to send and receive calls and data. Whether you're arriving home or abroad, we hope you had a fantastic flight with Osprey Airways. Hey Doc, what was the stand 7? Thank you. There we go.
For Foxtrot, established on ALS 27.
Doesn't that? There's a massive pole in the way. I'll have to taxi around that. Rab, no, so it wasn't Toga. As we said at the start of the stream today, there's a toggle that I've set now when I touch down. Problem is, I left it toggled. So, this is what happened. That, which is the weird clicking noise. But yeah, the Fenix continues to frustrate the heck out of me for stuff like that. It doesn't happen in the 737. And I wish it never did in the Fenix either, but hey ho. Right, stand 7, Air Incheon of all places. Ramp 7, don't want to follow me.
Liverpool traffic, Javelin 1 is in the right downwind for runway 27, Liverpool.
Parking stands.
Liverpool traffic, Gaetero
Near the
2472 is inbound to Liverpool NDB, expecting ILS runway 27. Liverpool traffic.
Yeah, that almost scuppered my touchdown there because, yeah, Christopher, of course I've tried to fix the problem. That's why I've set a whole new keybind for it. The problem is it's not easy. So what should have happened is on touchdown I should have toggled it in and out of its gate, and then it would have allowed us to do the reverse.
Osprey 804 Foxtrot.
And then untoggled it again.
Traffic on the runway and inbound traffic on 09, which is on this Liverpool traffic.
Who's going around for who? Who's landing on 09? Mike Oliver, you can get your cabin announcements. Yes, they are on in Discord, in our Discord server. Where's the dispatcher? It said there was a marshal. They're behind the fence, aren't they?
Osprey 5 Papa Lima, established LS2710 miles.
Yeah, a little bit low on the final approach. Weirdly enough, the reverses got deployed ever so slightly on short final, which is not ideal.
70.
You know what?
Liverpool traffic, Osprey 244 Foxtrot, runway going around. Tomjet 094, vacated runway 27. Tomjet 094, taxiing via Alpha Westgate to any other.
Part brakes, APU's good. Yeah, so what should happen is this, usually on my reverse. I should just set that. And there we go, boom, boom. Now, that works 10% of the time on the Fenix.
Liverpool traffic, Javelin 1, turning left base runway 27 behind.
Which is why I've then gone and set a new one to try and maybe fix it by setting a different keybind for the Fenix, and even that hasn't worked. So I don't know what they expect. I'm not the only one that's having the problem though, of course. Contrary to Christopher's belief.
The boarding requested.
Liverpool traffic, Ontario 2472 is reducing speed to minimum approach speed for traffic turning onto final. Liverpool traffic.
Controls. We're using, I've got the turbo velocity 1 controls. The yoke and throttle. Birdman, the problem is they're not actually looking at the data. So whoever that was configured for the wrong runway.
Passengers bus is coming.
Christy, welcome aboard. Jan, hello, can join today's stream. How did it go? Went alright actually, to be fair. We had a flight into Liverpool. We hand flew the entire approach really, to kind of mix it up and get it challenging, keep it fresh, keep it tough. Well, good for those streamers, Christopher, because for me, I have that problem. I wasn't going to suggest they were Fenix employees either. That's a bit of an assumption there. I get some people love aeroplanes and they want to defend it or whatever, but when it doesn't work with certain hardware properly, or has unnecessary issues like this where you're having to try and get different keybinds to try and get the throttles to just work how you want them to for bloody reverse thrust. It's really annoying, really annoying. But we get around it. All it makes me do is want to fly the fly-by-wire A320X more instead of the Fenix. That's I guess all we can say really. 3 on final. Fly Tim Sim says, I have loads of issues with the Fenix. Do you have that reverse issue as well? I know last time we flew the Fenix we had that problem. The problem I've spoke about before with the reverse thrust, and we've had a couple of people on that stream say that the same thing, they had the similar issue. Mike Oliver saying, Fenix is not great in lots of ways, I'm a PMDG convert. I think in the main, the A320 from Fenix Simulation is amazing, it's really good. I just think it's a bit rough around the edges with the way they try and sort out their software with the prevention of ripping and redistribution, of course, much necessary, certainly necessary sadly in today's world, but I just don't think it's implemented particularly well with how clunky it seems to be for certain people. Not everybody, but for some people. Delta Tango, what keybinds do you have set for the Honeycomb Bravo? Because the Turtle Beach reversers work a similar way. I don't know who that is. In a Sobo blob.
Liverpool traffic at Terra 2472 is on 5 nautical mile short final for runway 27. Liverpool traffic.
I don't know what that's meant to be. Yeah, performance is a big thing with the Fenix. It's about 10-15 frames per second less than the 737 for me. And I've not got the most powerful system, 2070 Super for my graphics card and a fairly okay CPU and stuff, but no idea what that was. He definitely had the gear deployed though, because he's... Oh no, he's just disconnected, I think. He had no gear, damn. Hopefully Fenix version 2, whenever that arrives, solves a lot of the problems we've all been having, or some of us have been having rather than all of us. Who knows, it's one of those things, isn't it? Oh, we went around. I wasn't watching, I was looking. So my computer's doing weird things today with the stream. So I'm having to actually watch the stream back on my phone to make sure that it's working okay. Because on the YouTube overlay for my actual Chrome studio, where the live stream is hosted and ran from, apparently I've just turned final approach on that, which is really weird. Hey ho. Oh yeah, he's doing touch and goes, of course he's Liam, thank you. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, it says, how could I increase performance at big airports? Yesterday when I was landing at JFK, my performance dropped massively. I don't think you can avoid it at JFK, sadly. I think most of us, our systems all tank there.
Traffic calling me, I'm turning on base, sorry you're very faint, I didn't catch what you said.
Continue your approach, I will get out of the way for you.
Thank you very much.
Higgin, trying to work out how to word this in real life. I have access to the ramp. It's loose, but yeah. Jan absolutely will be getting the 900 for sure. What I'm hoping for is a stream. I probably won't be streaming tomorrow. I might maybe do a short stream in the evening perhaps on release, but I'm up early, very early the next day, so it's highly unlikely, and unfortunately by the looks of it no preview stream from me this time round. I know you guys would have enjoyed seeing that, but yeah, nothing like that of the sort this time round it seems. That's fine. All it will mean is I won't be streaming the 737-900 immediately. It's going to be more akin to either Friday or Sunday, most likely Sunday. If not, it will be Friday before night shift. Yeah, great touchdown. Alitalia, now ITA, or Itaro for their call sign. Oh look, it's like real life. Contra.
Terra 2472 is exit the active runway at Echo.
As we mentioned, Jan, I know you missed it, but for anyone else who's tuning in as well, we'll be flying Amsterdam to Alicante on our first 737-900 ER live stream when it does get released. It's most likely going to be Sunday,
Liverpool traffic,
maybe 2 o'clock UK time, roughly at a guess.
Liverpool traffic.
In case you guys wanted to pencil in that. Alitalia is now ITA, yes. Well, Alitalia went bust, and then ITA took all their fleet with the new name. So basically Alitalia became ITA. How are we doing on the disembarkation? Let's have a look at GSX. Is that the passenger bus or is that the crew bus?
2472, taxi into the gate via Alpha and
So look, yellow.
Alpha 6, Liverpool traffic.
Almost matches the submarine.
Liverpool traffic, Osprey Airways, 2000.
Fact. Look how close a match that is. That's pretty good. And very close to the Ukrainian flag. That's a big tick for me. We had one on final, didn't we? How many more we got to come in? Hopefully no tail strikes indeed. Very, very likely in the 900. What's going on with the weather today? Oh, we're in the grass.
Passengers, the boarding starting.
While we're waiting for this aircraft on final, let me just show you Volanta very quickly. That's not bad, is it? Look, we hand flew here all the way across. Well, that's Fritz. Yeah, this line here, all the way across to Chester. Then we turned, flew this downwind leg, base leg, and then we hand flew final approach. Not bad. What was the touchdown rating? Minus 164 at 0.99 G. I'll take that. Happy days. Fritz
established on runway 27.
and Mark on final. We've got Philip as well behind him. So 3 more left. Including this one that we're looking at.
Liverpool traffic, Osprey 5563 is turning left base for runway 27, Liverpool.
ETS released Tuesday, sometime after 1800 Zulu Tuesday, apparently, as Robert said on the PM2G forum. But as you say, no universal flight tablet. It's still not ready, so they're not going to release it until it's done, which I don't mind. I mean, they've seen some wild comments of no EFB, no 7.3 for me, and all this sort of stuff on Facebook, which it gets quite boring after a while. It doesn't make the aeroplane fly any better. Let's face it. It's a nice to have. Nice firm touchdown there. Boom, touchdown zone. Nailed it. Right, him. No, I haven't done Svalbard actually, in fairness.
Liverpool traffic,
Good morning, Michael in Canada. How are you finding the Latin VFR A319 with the fly-by-wire mod? Is it any good? Or is it still pretty raw? I've actively avoided the product because I see it no different to Captain Sim. I mean, let's face it as well. We look at the Fenix the Fenix EFB. We look at the fly-by-wire EFB as well. The Leonardo Magdog EFB, which granted doesn't do very much. And how much do we use it? Not very much. Use it for takeoff performance calculation, landing performance calculation. That's it. But you can do that in the FMS of in the 737, and you can use stuff like VAS Airplane Toolbox to cover the rest, which is absolutely fine if you want to do it that way. So it's not like even if they released it, we'd all be using it that much anyway. Yes, SimBrief integration would be nice, but they don't have that in real life either. They punch the route in. And at least you can just drag it across.
10 mile final for runway 27, Liverpool.
Yeah, and so performance in the 737, once you get all the weights and things input, for the V-speeds, if you've got a departure set, you can pre-generate the V-speeds using the FMS automatically. So it takes out that need. That's a wonderful flare, look at that. Show off. It's an FSLTR model as well. Oh, look at that glint. Very nice. Higan says, does anybody operate the 900ER transatlantic? You know what, I don't actually know. I know in real life Air Canada fly the 737 MAX 8, I think it is, between London Heathrow and Halifax. Yeah, I'm not sure, I don't think they do. Might be corrected on that, perhaps there's a flight to Shannon, maybe. But I haven't actually checked. I know somebody, a couple of people in the live chat might know better.
Passenger's bus is coming.
Anyone else watching know if the 900ER operates transatlantic in real life? $2,800 miles, I think it was, MPS Gaming. Easy saying, is highest resolution and low graphics any good? Probably not. Jan, so the trim, it will automatically tell you that in the FMS. But for me, I use VATS Airplane Toolbox. It's free to use, free to download, and it's well worth exploring that because it covers a whole load of aircraft, not only the 737s. Easy, I'm running at 2K at the moment, which is why my system is absolutely maxed out to the limits. Philip's on final somewhere. Right in the centre of the screen, actually. Just see his landing lights. Right there. There he is. Everyone renders in at 3 miles, it seems. 1440p, I think it is. Easy 123. But I've got a 4K monitor, so it's like 2556 by 1440p or something like that. Yeah, 1440p. Jan, have a great one. Definitely check out VATS Airplane Toolbox, VAS Airplane Toolbox. You download it for free on the X-Plane forum, but it's really, really good for performance calculations across varying aeroplanes, 737s, A320s, 757s, 767s, the whole lot. And that integrates to SimBrief too, so you can load your SimBrief flight plan into VATS Airplane Toolbox, so it has all your weights and everything like that too. Really useful, really useful. Christy, welcome aboard. Thanks for subscribing. Tommaso as well. I might have missed that too. Hitting that subscribe button below. Michael saying the A319 from Latin VFR is raw. I would say decent. No more fidelity with the mod than Captain Sim. Some in our community get set quickly, but long before we will have the EFB for the 737. It was the A320 Neo. I still not purchased FS traffic from Just Flight, but a lot of people saying good things about it so far. I haven't purchased it yet. Good job, Philip. Line of Osprey, and we're still disembarking. I don't know why, but Menzies gave us the world's smallest coach. try and get a screenshot here. No, Mark, absolutely fine. It looked great. Brad, number of objects seems to be a problem with FS traffic. I think generally across the sim, once you hit the object limit, no matter what package, whatever add-on you're using, it struggles, which is where people are having an issue using FS traffic with things like GSX. GSX have got so many objects loaded in, namely all the people, ground equipment, everything else going on, that you hit that limit very quickly, unfortunately. There we are, look at that, standout livery, special edition for Eurovision 2023, covering Liverpool on behalf of beautiful Ukraine, who are sadly, of course, unable to host their competition this year. Who have we got? Osprey, we've got one more on final, I think. Oh, it's Aaron, he's flying, yeah, he's flying in from Brussels, wasn't he? He joined us a little bit further. We've got one more to land. Almost. Almost. He's flying Ryanair, so expects WWE SmackDown. Brussels Charleroi, that's the one. Yeah, to Liverpool. Oh my god.
10 miles from Mersey, inbound.
Just caught him. Touchdown. There we go. Very nearly missed that, didn't we? My god, my fat fingers. Yeah, very nicely done, Aaron. Who else have we got? Just having a little look to see. Did we have someone else? I heard somebody else do a position report just then. Just moving the camera thing around, so I don't think we've got anyone else inbound, have we? So I think that was a transmission for... Yeah, that was a transmission for Manchester. Hey Mark, it was great. At no point did it sound like there was anyone new flying along, which is obviously quite a good sign. So it sounds like you've done really well there. Hopefully you enjoyed flying along, Mark, as well. There we are. Turin to Liverpool in the Fenix A320. Not without a slightly messy touchdown, but that seems to be the theme of the day every time we fly the Fenix. Something with the reverse thrust goes wrong for us, I don't know why, but hey ho. Welcome to all of our new subscribers. Thank you very much to those of you who have hit the like button so far as well. 93 likes today, really appreciate all of that. All helps grow and build the channel. And avsim, thank you so much for painting what is a really nice special livery, supporting Eurovision 2023 on behalf of the Ukraine this year, which is very nice indeed. You can download it on flightsim.to. Almost goes with that yellow submarine in the background there too. You can download it on flightsim.to via our website as well, britishafgeek.com, and keep your eye out soon for the special edition Eurovision paint scheme for the PMDG 737-800 as well. Less than, well, just over actually, just a tickle over 24 hours to go until the release of PMDG 737-800, sorry, 737-900 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Very exciting for sure. It means we're also getting day by day slightly closer to the release of the 777 as well. Really looking forward to seeing those in the sim. So keep an eye out on the channel. Next few streams going to be most likely Sunday afternoon. 50-50 chance there being a stream on Friday as well to coincide, to want to celebrate the release of the 900 at some point this week. But thank you to all of you who flew along. Those of you who get your hands on the 737-900 before I do, enjoy it. Let us know in Discord what routes you're flying, how you're getting on with it. My goodness, there's an Emirates A380 just spawning. Have a great week ahead, guys, and enjoy that 737-900. See you soon. Take care.